Hello, lovelies. Yep. I saw somebody else do that. They say some people take pictures of live video. I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought I was cute in that moment. So there you go. How y'all doing? Come on in, y'all. It is Terrific Tuesday, and I'm feeling good, and I want y'all to feel good, and I want y'all to come and hang out with me for a little bit, like for just a little bit. I don't need a long time. I got some stuff to do today. I got homework to do, but I do need to chat it up with y'all a little bit. Come on in. Let me know when y'all here so I can actually start on and know y'all here and say hi, okay? How has your day been? I'm talking all over myself, blabbering. I hope it was good. I mean, I'm still trying to get used to getting dark this early. That's always still different for me, but that's okay because we know how it go. So I'm gonna start in 2 seconds. So I just wanna make sure. Everybody always say they don't see when I come on, so I try to tag a few people so that they do see. But I'm gonna start this in a minute. Okay, that's too much already. Hey, Julie girl, how are you? Sheesh, this light is a little bright today. I hope y'all can see me. It's a little bright. It's all right. I feel like I'm gonna burn up with this light on, but that's okay. So, how y'all doing? Yes, it is Terrific Tuesday. I hope you had an amazing weekend. I hope you did something nice for yourself. I hope that you had something that was worthwhile. I know I told you I wasn't talking about the election anymore, and I am not. However, congratulations are, I'm sorry, I give honor where I think honor is due, so congratulations are in store for the president-elect for winning, and for Kamala Harris. I know I said her name wrong probably, but I think it's still just amazing, especially for Black women and Black girls. And not just, Black and brown, but like all women. It's an amazing accomplishment that I just want to give props to. So I'm going to give my props to those people for winning. Hey, JC. Let's see. So where does my topic come in today? I know you saw it. And I'm sure you're like, dang, she talking about this again. And yes, today it is. Actually, the election, part of the election made me think about this topic, right? And so, what happens once, two entities are going at it very hardcore, accusing each other of doing things and, saying, just going at each other's head. What happens? Well, generally speaking, one of the parties win or lose or however it works. And generally speaking, the person that won is required to kind of pull together both sides in a way that is, like they said, meeting in the aisle, pulling together both ends. And so even with the win, we know that win was very narrow, which means what? It means that you have almost a split country as far as votes. So you have people on both sides of the aisle who are that are really polarized and have completely different beliefs, or so they think, right? Because I don't believe all that's true, right? And so how do you heal a nation? How do you move forward? How do you not continue to allow yourself to be so politically aligned that you can no longer deal with some people? And the answer to that is Forgiveness. And listen, this is not just about the election. That's not what I'm talking about. Actually, I wanted to talk about this with relationships because this was requested by someone. Somebody wanted me to talk about forgiveness. And I've talked about it before, but there's no such thing as talking about it too much. Not only that, I believe that the season that we're in right now is really good because I feel like it's really, it's like when I'm talking about something here, someone else that I know is talking about it. I see somebody else say it. It's good timing all the time because it's just like, it's always like, I just heard that or someone just said something like that. So I believe this is going to help somebody because, again, we all go through similar things. Hey, Auntie Elaine. So forgiveness, let's talk about it. You know that I'm going to say just the obvious things about forgiveness. Hi, Pearlie. The obvious things about forgiveness is that forgiveness is a choice, in my opinion, okay? There's different types of forgiveness, but it's definitely a choice. Hey, Lizelle. And what do I mean by it's a choice? It is a choice. You have the choice to forgive somebody or not. Now, it does not absolve them for anything that they did, right? It doesn't say that I forgive you and therefore what you did was not wrong, or I forgive you and I think that you're a good person now that I forgive you, or I forgive you and I choose to still have a relationship with you. None of those things are true. But the pure act of forgiveness is to say that, you know what, I know what happened. I did not like what happened. It was wrong, but I choose to forgive you, and I choose not to put that burden of my unforgiveness on you, and more importantly, not to put the burden of unforgiveness on me. See, a lot of times what we don't realize is that when you don't forgive, it has a horrible effect on you. It really, honestly, depending on who did what or what entity did whatever, you generally speaking are doing yourself a dysfunction by holding on to something. It's almost like saying, you know me and my analogies, right? It's almost like saying that person shot me, right? They shot me with a gun and I have a big wound. And because they shot me, I'm not going to go and get this looked at because it's not my responsibility. They did wrong, and I want people to see that they did something wrong to me. Hey, Mom. It's important that you hear that way, right? Because I think oftentimes we think that forgiveness absolves the other person of their responsibility, and it's not that at all. But if somebody does shoot you, right, and you have a big gaping wound here, while it is that person's fault, choosing to forgive them, what that looks like in that situation is to say, oh my God, I can't believe you just shot me. Okay, I gotta go take care of this. Because if I get too caught up in this idea that you shot me and I don't move forward and I'm paralyzed by this, I can potentially bleed out and die because I choose to be stuck. Do you get what I'm saying here? I need y'all to hear that because I think sometimes we say we understand the theory of forgiveness, but then not enough people are executing it. And this is me included, especially in the past, and I'm still working through it. I'm not 100% like, I think I just got it under control, but I believe that one thing I will say is I do understand it's a choice. I do understand it's a choice. Some people say, well, if so-and-so did this and so-and-so did this, they deserve everything they get. And I'm like, I want you to be very careful about words like that, right? Let's be very, very, very careful. Sometimes, we represent ourselves as people that have high morals. We represent ourselves as people that are loving people. We represent people, I'll give people, we'll say, oh, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll do anything for you. But there are these ideals or these thoughts that if you do this, then that takes the protective shield off of you, or I no longer can forgive if that person does this. I've even heard people say that's an unforgivable thing. Excuse me. And I think that I don't agree. Yikes, here we go. Unpopular opinion for number one of the night. I don't agree that there's anything such as an unforgivable thing. And I know you're like, Paris, you crazy. Don't you have a child? Don't you have family? What if somebody did something to hurt your family? Let's be very clear. If anybody did something to hurt my family, I'm gonna struggle with that. And I'm not gonna say that that's gonna be something that's gonna be easy for me. But I will say this, and this is where I believe that people don't understand what I'm saying. And you probably won't agree, and you don't have to agree, but I'm just giving you some nuggets of information. I don't believe in things like, what is that called? Is that capital punishment? Isn't that when if somebody was to do something really horrible, like murder some people, that they get the death punishment, the death penalty? I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't. I personally do not. I personally do not believe in that. Do I believe that when someone does something wrong, they should suffer a consequence? Absolutely. Do I believe that they're dangerous to society, they should be taken away? Absolutely. Do I believe I have the right to kill somebody or to order their death because of what they did? Nope. You know why? Because I believe I'm then just as bad as they are. Please don't come quoting me scriptures from the Bible about how God did this for, in the Bible days, he wiped out whole cities and he did all that. That was God. I'm not God. I, Paris Johnson, will never support doing that. And you're saying, well, Paris, you don't know how you would feel. I don't have to go through that. And thank God I have not went through something that close to me, but I don't believe it would change. I read lots of stories about people who have had their child murdered, has had their whole family, the house burned down on purpose, and they lost their family, and they chose to forgive. And people say, oh my God, I can't understand how they would ever do that. And I believe that I sit on the side of that thought process. That's just my personal opinion. Why am I telling you my personal opinion? Because I need to shift you into an idea that you get to choose. You do not have to allow your emotions to rule you in such a way that you hold on to something and it's deteriorating you, right? For example, you can be, hey, Jamie, you can be in a bad situation. Hey, Jawan, you can be in a horrible, bad situation where you're being treated wrong, and you can acknowledge that you're being treated wrong. But you can also control your emotion and how you react to it, and you still can decide to forgive that person in that situation. And I know you think, well, Paris, how's that possible? How do you forgive somebody for doing something bad? It does not absolve that person from the consequences of what they've done, nor does it say it's okay, nor does it give them right to do it, right? PSA. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I think it's about to start storming. So I think my Wi-Fi started acting up. So I'm gonna just try to say what I was saying. If you're in a dangerous situation and somebody's treating you bad and they're abusing you physically and they're abusing you emotionally and they're abusing you verbally, by all means, get out of that situation. Get out of harm's way. If you feel, that you're being harmed. Forgiveness is not giving people open access to you. You can forgive and say, you know what, I forgive you, but I'm also going to get away from you because right now you're toxic and right now you're hurting me. And I don't want to be hurt physically, emotionally, mentally. And so because you are not capable of controlling yourself, I'm going to put up boundaries. And those boundaries are going to allow us to operate where, at least while we're trying to both heal, right? Because healing probably needs to be done on both sides of the fence, because although they're doing it, you allowed it, right? That's a whole nother story, right? right? And so at some point you have to realize, okay, this forgiveness thing, it's just me releasing that person and releasing myself from the guilt and then being able to go forward. To me, forgiveness is like chains, literal like metal shackles and chains on you that weigh you down, that imprison you, that keep you in a place and keep you from forward moving. It's that serious. It's literally that serious. So in best case scenarios, you would want to avoid being in situations, but if you can't, you still have to learn how to deal. And if you're in a situation that's horrible, you still have to forgive in order for you not to self-destruct. You do. You just do. I'm not telling you because you're going to make me feel better. I'm telling you from personal experience. I have had people do some horrible things to me, and me being upset, for me, it physically makes me sick. I'm physically sick. Like my stomach starts to bubble. I get headaches. I literally can't think well. I get almost like just my whole equilibrium is off. So trust and believe. I believe that it's not something that's negotiable. Forgiveness is non-negotiable. When you believe that you have the right to choose if you're going to forgive or not, you are putting your life in danger. And yes, it's just that serious. Because depending on what you're forgiving, baby, I know people who still hold on to stuff from 20, 30 years ago. You don't think that that's causing you stress? You don't think that's deteriorating your body? You don't think that's deteriorating your mind? You don't think that that affects the lens that you see things out in life? You don't think that that affects everything that you do? And this is not me pointing the finger at you. This is me saying, I know how it's affected me. I know how when I don't forgive, what it does to me. It's like it literally sits on my chest like a weight. So I think it's serious enough to talk about and to come up. Hey, Tracy says, how are you? I'm going to read your comment. You said, great topic. We can't talk enough about the power of it. Faith and forgiveness. The struggle is real for so many. Yes, listen, sis. I feel like we don't really... I feel like so many people, y'all keep hearing me use the word cliche and how I'm sick of people trying to look good and say what they agree with. So I feel like we're in a society right now where it's hot to be able to say, yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I'm on it because it sounds good. But you repping something that you don't apply in your life is going to have you looking good to everybody else and dying on the inside. And quote me on that. You playing to what everybody else says because they do, and you say you agree with something and you don't really understand it or you don't know how to apply it, you better ask questions. You better figure out how to do it, because if you continue to say, oh, yeah, I do that, and you don't actually do it, you're going to be looking like you're in agreement with everybody else and dying on the inside. It is a pandemic that's bigger than COVID, which is people not really forgiving and then secretly holding this stuff in, and it literally causing them to self-destruct. What do y'all think harder, some physical stuff comes from the way we take care of our bodies, but let's be very honest. What do you think a lot of these ailments come from? A lot of these ailments come from manifestation of mental and emotional things that we did not let go of. I'm talking about heart attacks. I'm talking about strokes. I'm talking about high blood pressure. I'm talking about aneurysms. I'm talking about fibroids. I'm talking about gastro problems. I'm talking about all of it. Yes. I know your doctor told you that your family had it for a long time and it just passed down. Let me help you out. What else can pass down during the generations? Generational curses. Yeah, maybe all of your family had hypertension. Well, maybe your family all held on to things and didn't know how to let go of things too. It's not mutually exclusive. You don't have high blood pressure just because your family had high genes. You are also have something in your life that you're not thinking about, that you are holding on to. And of course, this is not saying everybody. I'm saying it's a large amount though. Don't sit here and say, well, of course, Paris, you're not talking about me. See, this is the problem with mental health. This is the problem with talking about things that help each other. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Gary. Hey, Auntie Cynthia. This is the problem that I keep running into, that we keep running into, is that there's too much of people saying, oh, that's what her problem is. Oh, that's what his problem is. Oh, that's what their problem is. And they won't turn the mirror around onto themselves and say, hey, I struggle in this area too. If you're not willing to turn it around on you first, you can't even talk about it. Like, it's certain things I can't talk about unless I apply it first to me. So how dare I call you out on something if I won't look at myself? Right? So, and this is not to like indict anybody. This is not to condemn anybody. This is to say, like, forgiveness is so crazy that it's like a prison. It's a prison. We talk about like mental slavery. You want to know the biggest form of mental slavery is unforgiveness and allowing that stress to mentally keep you into a place and suppress you and keep you from getting to your goals, keep you from operating purpose, keep you from forming good relationship, keeping you from trusting people, keeping you isolated, keeping you from not having real faith in, I want to say, God. So that's what I feel. But also, like, whoever you believe in, like, this is for believers and unbelievers, right? The reality of it all is that this is a real thing that we have to address. We have to stop tiptoeing around it. We have to stop liking the memes. We have to stop liking the post and pretending like we really apply this stuff and we're not applying it. Don't talk to me about forgiveness and you agree, but you still holding on to something somebody did 10 years ago. And we all have our good reasons. And Paris, you don't understand because you don't know. Paris, you know, I hate when people say, oh, girl, live long enough. Live long enough, you'll understand. And I'm like, no, I don't have to go through everything to understand. I don't have to smoke crack in order to know that crack is bad for you. I don't have to do certain things in order to know it's not good for you. So, with that being the case, I am here to try to get us to really like stop just talking a thing and really applying a thing, right? I don't care what a person did. You can forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is not an emotion. It is a choice. It is not for them. It is for you. It is not for them. It is for you. When you don't forgive somebody, did you know that you literally take them as a slave and you literally carry them along with you and you don't even realize that. Yeah, it's that deep, right? And then you didn't know, that's okay. And then let's talk about the biggest person you choose to not forgive. Hold on. Sorry, something was mine. The biggest person you choose not to forgive is yourself. Yeah, I know I was going somewhere with that, right? Remember how I said sometimes that you have forgiveness and it's on both sides. The lack of forgiveness is that you don't forgive them, but you also don't forgive yourself. And you said, well, I'm not mad at myself. Well, a lot of times you don't really realize you're mad at yourself, or you're upset at yourself, or disappointed at yourself. And you said, well, Paris, I'm not. That's not what it is. Well, I think sometimes it is. You don't realize what it is. For example, when you beat up on yourself about, oh, I'm so dumb for letting him do that to me again. Oh man, I'm so dumb for me falling for this again. Man, I'm just so like, I can't believe that I allowed that to happen to me. That's you not forgiving yourself. It's good to be self-aware because, you know, I always say be self-aware, but if you constantly beat up on yourself about something and you constantly, oh my God, something's in my eye. Jesus. That's okay. We're going to get through this. Oh, Jesus. And you constantly go over and replay a thing. It's not just you not forgiving them, you also haven't forgiven yourself. And you're saying, well, now some of you are like, well, no, Paris, because I had nothing to do with it. Literally, it was all them. They did this, and this to me. I didn't do anything. So how could I not forgive myself? Well, you also could say this, it's a thing of not that you could have avoided it, not that you chose it, but sometimes you just don't forgive yourself for how you feel about it. Like sometimes you have these negative thoughts. Sometimes you have these thoughts that nobody else knows, like dark stuff. And or sometimes the thing that happened could be so traumatic. You say it over and over in your head. Like you go over and over it, and you literally don't let it die down. And in some way in your head, you believe that you deserved it. Some way you felt like maybe I'm a good victim and that's why they chose me. Some way you feel like, well, maybe if I didn't put myself in this place at this time, maybe that's why, it happened to me. That's not forgiving yourself. And it sounds crazy that you would even blame yourself, but that's what it is. It's subconsciously. You don't even realize you did it. Hey, I'll help you out with something. This happened to me. In corporate America, it's certain things that happen, and I remember me literally not forgiving myself because I used to hate being a woman, right? And I know you said, well, Paris, what are you talking about? I'm just being honest. I'm gonna tell on me. I'm always gonna tell on me. I used to feel like if I was a man, they would listen to me. And if I was a man, I didn't have to apologize for my tone. I didn't have to watch what I said, how I said it. If I was a man, they would take me seriously. If I was a man, I just didn't have to deal with all these things. And I had a form of self-hatred. I had a form of unforgiveness to myself about something that had nothing to do with me, but secretly I despised about me. And I was just like, man, like it wore down on me. It became part of who I was. It actually put a glass ceiling on me that wasn't even there because I held on to that subconsciously. You see how that thing can be dangerous? You see how it can be very dangerous. So, moral of the story here. You can't control what happens to you in life. You can't always control who's in your inner circle, especially with COVID going on. Sometimes you might even be trapped at home with somebody that's doing things to you that is horrible. How do you get through it? You first choose to forgive. You have to. It's a choice. It's not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's not absolving them of what they did. It's not for them. It's for you. And then once you choose to forgive them, you forgive you. And that's the part where it's a little harder to even, it's a little trickier to really identify that you have that type of issue, that you haven't forgiven you. Sometimes we don't even realize that, like I didn't forgive myself for leaving school 17 years ago. Didn't even realize that. I was telling myself that this was fine, this is that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 17 years I was holding on to something. I didn't forgive myself. And it held me back. I'm telling you, you got to figure out, do the work, go back. If you, I'm going to say this, and I mean, maybe I'm stepping over the bounds, but I feel very confident about what I'm about to say. If you have chronic headaches that's not medically tied to something, even if it is medically tied to something, if you have chronic, fibroids, if you have chronic pain that anywhere that they're saying they have no idea what it's really coming from, I dare you to just do an evaluation of your life and talk about and look at what stressful situations you're in, what traumatic situations you've been in your life, what things that happen to you, even some things that you might have to go a little deeper, because sometimes our brain is very smart and it hides things from us when it's too traumatic, when it doesn't believe we can handle it at the time. So, go back and start to write down some things that might have happened to you that you either know you haven't forgiven somebody for completely, or you didn't forgive yourself completely, or maybe some things that you forgot about that you don't realize, and this is the way you know you didn't forgive something or a situation or a person or yourself, is when you think about it and it still makes you upset. It still makes you want to, that's how you know. If you're unsure how it works, is talk about that thing and see if it doesn't trigger you. That's how you know. And listen, I still have my things. I absolutely do. But I'm able to let those things go and not allow things to pull me back into a state of unforgiveness. I believe you can forgive, and I believe that something can trigger you to go back and relive that thing all the way over, and then they're not into a level of forgiveness that you need to move forward and heal. Yeah, Lynn, you know that forgiveness piece is crazy. And let me circle back before I come off about this election. Listen, I'm not telling y'all to go kiss the other party. I'm not telling you to go and deal with, sorry, I got a call. I'm not telling you to go over nobody's house. I'm not telling you to go celebrate with them. I'm not telling you to go and lick their wounds so they can be cool. I'm not telling you any of those things. But I will tell you this, if you find yourself telling yourself you're a good person and you stand for righteousness and justice and all those things, but you have secretly in your mind, you haven't forgiven people and you want people to die and you want bad things to happen to them, and you find yourself being nasty to another human being, check yourself. Yeah, the memes and stuff are funny, but guess what? I see a lot of y'all being super ugly. And I don't care what they did. I don't care what they did. I'm tired of people saying, well, that's when this is what they did. Well, when you stoop to their level, you're just as bad as them. Stop it. Y'all give too many excuses for it. Don't get me wrong. I laugh at some stuff too. But after a while, like when it comes to stuff that's harmful, wishing harm on people, hoping that they get in accidents, hoping that horrible bad things happen to them. I don't care if Adolf Hitler was in front of me. I would not wish death on him or his family. And if you get into that point, check yourself, because your mental health is off. Go repent. Forgive that person. Hey, if you got to forgive the whole party, do what you got to do. But y'all really are showing your whole self, and it's ugly. And guess what? It tells more about you than it does them. You can be disappointed, you can be hurt, but you don't have to be ugly. You do not have to you do not have to mirror people's ugliness. You don't. That's what I'm talking about, forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean that it absolves that person or anybody else from something that's wrong. It just means that you choose. It's not based on emotion. It's not based on anything but a choice. And you choose how to behave. So y'all, come up. I'm gonna need y'all to come up. Come on up. What did Michelle Obama say? She said, when they go low, we go high. Come on up. Come on, I welcome y'all to high ground. It's raining right now. Outside, I'm sure some puddles, and I'm sure it's flooding in certain places. Come on up to higher ground. I'm going to reach my hand out. I'm going to pull you up. Come up to higher ground. Y'all better than this. Some of y'all getting real ugly with this stuff. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You should be. And guess what? You have a lot of stress about this stuff. People are like, I can't sleep till this whole thing's lit. Why not? If you're not sleeping because of this election, you really need to figure your life out. Because if you have to have a comfort and peace in God Almighty. And if you don't believe in God, that's not my business right now. But even if you just believe in yourself, whatever it is, what you have to know is you being ugly is more of a reflection of how you are versus the other person. So I'm okay with joking and laughing and getting some steam off. That's fine. But when you get to the point where you're being ugly and hateful and mirroring really ugly things, I'm going to say I'm going to need y'all to come on up. Come on up to higher ground. When they go low, we go high. Some of y'all getting down in the ditches and the trenches, and I see the mud and the dirt on you. It's not cute. And we got to keep it cute. Yes, like this stuff is serious. Yes, but guess what? Instead of being ugly, take action. Do research. Figure out how to do your part. Figure that stuff out. But being ugly and hateful, nah, that looks bad on you. Nah. Be humble. Show a little humility. Forgive. You know somebody that's struggling, instead of laughing at them, pray for them. I know that's harsh, right? Can't even think about it. Well, they didn't do that for us. They don't have to. It's easy to love people that love you and give you flowers every day. The real thing is for you to love people when they're not acting that lovable. Y'all say, well, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You got kids? Have your kids ever acted ugly? You still love them, right? You got parents? Have your parents ever did something you ain't like, but you still love them, right? Have you had friends? Have you had spouses that did ugly things to you? You didn't like that stuff, but you still decided to love them because you chose to do it. So yeah, you can do it. You got this. It's a choice. You got it. Y'all got this. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in perspective. I'm not gonna allow you around me to just keep talking ugly. It's really sickening. A joke here or there, that's fine, but when you get to a point where you're just starting to be very hateful, then check your heart. That's a heart posture thing. Check your heart. No excuses on what they're doing. Not the problem. I can only be accountable for my actions. So here it goes. This was not supposed to be all about election stuff. This is about forgiveness, period. This is about forgiveness to the other person, for yourself. This is about self-forgiveness. This is about unearthing some things that you didn't forgive from a long time ago that probably has caused emotional, mental stagnation, a mental prison, and physical problems. You know, and it's causing you to be stuck and like, you know, with shackles on. So that's what we're talking about. But then also, I think the timely thing is just reminding you, some of you all, about this whole election thing. Don't allow it to pull you out of your body. Be who you are. And if you've done that, that's okay. No condemnation. Forgive yourself. Forgive them. And then move forward and be everything you're supposed to be. Higher ground, y'all. That's where we're at. Higher ground. So, yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. I can never talk enough about forgiveness. Like, it is a thing that we have to constantly do. And I told you, if you don't know if you have any forgiveness, just start thinking about things that happened before. And then when you start talking about it, if you feel something in your chest, if you feel a tension that's happening, you didn't fully forgive. It's okay. It is okay. Just let's start working on that thing. Because when you know, you can do something about it. But when you pretend like it's not a problem, then that's when you're just going to have it fester and grow into horrible things. If you still blaming people for things and say, well, they did this and it's their responsibility. Listen, you may never get an apology ever. You might never get people to admit that they did something wrong, ever. You might not even get anybody to just be nice to you. I don't care. You still got to forgive. Because it's going to hurt you. Remember I talked about the gun wound. You sit around, get shot, and sit there long enough. Man, I can't believe they shot me. They need to come take me. They need to come fix it. Oh, okay, keep doing it if you want to. You're going to bleed out and die right there. Yes, I'm being harsh. Because I need you to hear that just because somebody did it to you, it's still your responsibility to heal. It's still your responsibility to take care of it. What do you do if you get a gunshot wound? You go to the hospital. You ask them to take care of you. You get to the doctors that can take care of you, the people that are experts. Y'all know what I think about therapy. Y'all know what I feel about getting help, whatever it is. Work it out. If you can't do it by yourself. So, I love you all. I'm going to get off of here because I've been on here longer than I wanted to be. Plus, it's really, really pouring down raining. Y'all be safe. I love you all. You know what I always say, you are enough. You are enough for you to give yourself a fighting chance. You know I'm always going to tie it in some kind of way. You are enough to forgive even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when you feel like they don't deserve it. They probably don't. But that's okay. It's for you. It's not for them. Give yourself the gift of forgiveness. I promise you, it's going to help you out. It's going to help you out. Hey, Dre, you came in right on the end, honey. Catch my replay. Oh yeah, anybody, if you can go ahead and share, because somebody, I'm sure everybody can benefit from the message of forgiveness. Please share this with somebody that can tag somebody in it. You know, share your thoughts, how you deal with things. Like, let's have a conversation. I told y'all, it's not just about me talking. I'm giving y'all my thoughts. I want y'all to engage. Let me know what's what. Go ahead and share this. If you just coming on, watch the replay. If you watch the replay, type replay so I can know that you watched it. If it's helped you, let me know. You know. So I'm going to get off of here. Y'all have an amazing evening. Be productive. Do some soul work. Do that homework about looking to see what you might have that's not resolved in your past about forgiveness. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. Y'all have a great evening. Love you.